Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, have some disturbing news to share with you today. I'm really pissed off about this. Back in 2008, notorious pedophile and child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was given a slap on the wrist with a joke of a prison sentence, if you can even call it that. If you've been following this show, you know he spent only 13 months in a work release program that allowed him to leave the prison for up to 13 hours a day, 6 days a week to go to his, quote, office and work. This is what prosecutor Alex Acosta thought was fair and just after Epstein spent decades, literally decades, torturing and violating children and young women. And as part of this ridiculous plea agreement, Epstein's co-conspirators, unnamed co-conspirators, were all given a blanket pass on their part in sexually assaulting some of these children and women themselves and trafficking them to Epstein and other heinous men. To top it off, prosecutors violated the Crime Victims' Rights Act by failing to inform them of this nonsense plea agreement with Epstein in advance, because that's part of their right to know in advance. And they have the right under the Crime Victims' Rights Act to stand up and speak, to weigh in on what they're planning in this plea agreement. So all of that was violated. Well, one of Epstein's alleged victims has been trying to hold the government accountable for that decision, which really allowed Epstein to continue violating children up until his death in 2019. And no, I don't believe for 1 second that he committed suicide. So Courtney Wild is the victim I'm referring to. She was 15 when she alleges that Epstein sexually abused her. She has been trying to get this non-prosecution agreement overturned for over a decade. For 12 years, she's been working on this. And yesterday, a decision was handed down, and it just sent me over the edge. A federal appeals court voted 7-4 against her and said that, well, they had such immense sympathy for what she and other Epstein victims had gone through, they were constrained by law and couldn't rule in her favor. And you're not going to believe the reason for voting against her. The judges said that Wild and others had no standing because Epstein hadn't officially been charged yet with his crimes when he agreed to this plea agreement. So therefore, the crime victims' rights didn't apply. So essentially, all a child trafficker or any criminal for that matter has to do is work out some bullshit, weak-ass plea agreement before they're charged. They know they're going to be charged. They know that they're being investigated. So all they have to do is work out a plea agreement ahead of time, and then their victims lose all of their rights. Are you freaking kidding me? And these judges don't see how absurd this loophole is, how it could be abused by corrupt, bought and paid for prosecutors and criminals? Oh my God, it's unreal. So basically, everyone involved in this gets to walk away unscathed, other than the victims, of course. The victims are left to twist in the wind. They get no justice. Alex Acosta, who was forced to resign as Trump's labor secretary after news of this agreement surfaced, that's it. That's his only consequence for potentially, it looks like from the evidence, colluding with Epstein's attorneys behind the scenes. A bunch of his emails, as I've reported on the show, just mysteriously vanished off the server. And for throwing hundreds, if not maybe thousands of little girls and women under a bus and giving a monster like Epstein and all of his co-conspirators, all of the other pedophiles that he trafficked these girls to, it gives them a complete pass. It is Complete and utter vile bullshit. And the question now is, how is this going to affect the case against his longtime girlfriend and alleged accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell? Can she use this non-prosecution agreement to shield her from consequences? Some people are saying yes. Others are saying no, that it only applies to crimes committed in Florida, which of course he and she are accused of violating girls in New York, in New Mexico, at his private island. If she gets to walk because of this outrageous, completely unjust, blatant, politically connected deal, I'm just going to lose my shit, as you can tell. Anyway, guys, if I hear more, I'll keep you posted. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.